Anderson, and welcome to Empowered Parenting Perspectives. What does The Matrix, the movie, have to do with calming yourself and your child in times of stressful parenting? So this is what we're going to talk about in this video. First, why is it hard, if not impossible, to redirect our children when they're dysregulated, meaning when they're really upset or they're completely shut down? I want to share with you a book that talks about parenting from the perspective of the brain. And then what happens for us as well during these stressful parenting moments. And lastly, I want to share with you a strategy for calming ourselves before redirecting our children that I call the Matrix technique. Why is it hard, if not impossible, to redirect our children when they're dysregulated? Meaning when they are very upset, maybe they're having a tantrum, or maybe they're crying. It could be that they're hitting or biting or kicking. It could be that they're completely shut down. When anyone is in those states, they are not teachable. So that is the challenge, right? We want to be able to tell children what's okay and not okay. We want to be able to problem solve, but they're not teachable. So not in that moment anyway. This book, called The Whole Brain Child, from Dr. Daniel J. Siegel and Dr. Tina Payne Bryson, really does a masterful job of talking about parenting from the perspective of the brain. And they mention in the book how on the left side of our brain, we are more able to tap into being logical and linguistic, meaning we can talk, right? We can talk through our thoughts and our ideas and our feelings. So the right side, although, senses the emotions and is less verbal. So when we are not in this balanced state, we're not able to really hear words very well. We're not really able to hear directions very well. So we want our children to be in a more calmed state so they can listen to what we have to say and be teachable at the same time. So what happens for us during these stressful parenting moments? The same thing, right? We can get triggered into that fight, flight, or freeze. Our own bodies can become very tense. It can become very difficult for us to be thoughtful in our parenting. So the first thing that I would do, especially with my preschoolers, when there would be a lot of chaos perhaps happening at any given moment. It just seems like we've had days like that, right, with our kids, where multiple kids, if you have multiple kids, can all be having a challenge at the same time. And that is that realizing now is not a teaching moment. And really it is just our job as parents and caregivers to calm ourselves down first and then be able to calm our children down. The technique I want to share with you, I call the Matrix technique. And I remember seeing this movie and the scene where Neo, the main character, is dodging a bullet and his body goes into complete slow motion. And when I would have these stressful times with my preschoolers, especially when there were multiple children having a challenge with perhaps with each other, I would first know that I needed to calm my own body down, to be really thoughtful. So I would have this scene in my mind. I would slow my breath down. I would slow my words down. I would slow my body down. And I would envision this scene, even the music, and it would really help me to just calm my whole person down. So let me play it for you. So you can see in this scene how everything slows down. So next time you have a really stressful moment with your child and you know that you need to calm your own body down, envision that scene. You can even imagine the music as well, which I find often helpful. Back to the book of The Whole Brain Child, it talks about in these very intense or stressful times for your child to connect right to right first before trying to connect to the left. If we remember, the left is the more linguistic part, right? It's the part that can hear the problem solving, but our children are not in that part of their brain at that moment in time, at least not in a cohesive way. So we can connect right to right by softening our voice, using empathy, saying things like, I know that you really wanted that puppy, or I know that you really wanted to go ride your bike, or I know that really frustrated you. You can use empathy and still not agree with their behavior. Hugs and your own breath, right? You can slow your own body and breath down to connect right to right first. At some point, you will feel that your child's body and breath have also slowed and calmed down. Then you know it is a teachable moment. You can talk about problem solving. You can talk about the behavior and what's not okay. You can talk about expectations. You can involve your children in problem solving as well. A quick overview. When meltdowns happen, think in your mind The Matrix, that scene where everything just slows down. You hear the music as well, and you're able to just have your whole body and breath and words slow. And then once you are calm, you're able to connect right to right with your child using empathy, using hugs. And then once your child has calmed, then you can connect left to left to do some problem solving and talk about the behavior. Please do check out the book, The Whole Brain Child. There are so many amazing strategies in that book. And also share below if you have any strategies for calming yourself and your child in times of parenting stress. Thanks for being here.